Okay, let's get right into it. It really feels like the entire world of legacy finance is getting hit from all sides at once. You've got regulators, new crypto infrastructure, and this whole new kind of market intelligence. They're all crashing the party. This isn't just one thing happening. It's a full-on multi-front war.
Sometimes a movie quote just hits perfectly. This line from The Dark Knight, it feels like exactly what the disruptors are saying to the financial old guard right now. The old rules are just being shattered, and there is absolutely no going back.
So we're going to break down exactly what's going on by looking at three totally distinct stories. Think of each one as a different battlefront, where the future of money is literally being fought over as we speak.
So let's start with the first front, regulation. And the company right in the middle of the storm, right in the crosshairs, is the payments giant PayPal.
Okay, just picture this for a second. It's your very first day as CEO of this massive public company, and what lands on your desk? A formal warning letter from the Federal Trade Commission. That is exactly what happened to PayPal's new boss, Alex Chriss. The letter brought up some serious concerns about PayPal's potential treatment of customers. What a welcome.
And look, this action from the FTC didn't just come out of the blue. Not at all. As you can see, PayPal has this long, well-documented history of cutting off services to all sorts of accounts. These are actions that have drawn more and more scrutiny over the years and, well, they've led directly to this federal warning.
And here's why PayPal is in such a tough spot. Unlike, say, Visa and MasterCard, who operate as these big networks and can kind of point the finger at their partner banks when an account gets shut down, PayPal is a direct-to-consumer platform. There's no one else to blame. This whole model makes them a massive test case, and whatever regulatory precedent gets set here, well, it could become a systemic risk for the entire fintech industry.
So the real bombshell is buried right here, in the FTC's own language. The letter doesn't just warn PayPal about its actions, it warns against facilitating that kind of conduct. This is the sleeper clause, the real kicker. It basically puts the entire payment network on notice. Visa and MasterCard can't just say, hey, not our problem anymore.
So the bottom line for this first front, PayPal's new CEO has basically walked into a full-blown regulatory crisis. And that one little word, facilitate, has huge implications for pretty much everyone in the payments game.
Okay, let's move on to our second front, infrastructure. We're shifting gears from the government questioning the old systems to new players building entirely different ones from scratch. And we're not just talking about, slapping some crypto onto old financial rails. No, we're talking about crypto-native infrastructure, systems built from the ground up on the blockchain.
1%. This number you're looking at right here, this should make every single legacy brokerage out there pretty nervous. The investing platform Public is offering a 1% match on all IRA contributions and rollovers. And why are they doing that? To get you to use their crazy new product.
And this is what's changing the game. This isn't some complicated, clunky workaround. Public is letting you hold actual crypto. We're talking Bitcoin, Ethereum, directly inside a traditional or Roth IRA. Right there alongside your stocks and ETFs, with all the tax advantages that go with it. It's a huge deal.
Someone called this the Napster moment for retirement accounts, and that analogy just feels so right. The technology was there, customer demand was definitely there, someone just had to be the first to connect the dots and build it. Well, Public just did.
So now, this move just creates this immense pressure across the entire industry. Once a feature like this exists, how can competitors like Robinhood or SoFi justify not offering it? They're now forced to either copy Public's move, or they have to try and explain to their customers why they're falling behind.
So the key takeaway here is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. By launching this, Public didn't just add a new feature. They literally created an entirely new product category. The game has changed, and now everybody else is forced to play catch-up. All right, for our third and final front, let's talk about intelligence. This is all about how the very definition of what counts as financial data is changing. And what's wild is, it's being led by one of the oldest institutions in the entire market.
$1.6 billion. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's the total amount that Intercontinental Exchange, or ICE, you probably know them as the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, has now invested in a company called Polymarket. This is not a small side project.
So what is Polymarket? It's a prediction market. The easiest way to think about it is like a stock market for real-world events. People buy and sell contracts based on what they think will happen in the future. And all that trading activity itself becomes this incredibly powerful real-time data source on what a whole group of people collectively believes.
Now, to get just how insane this is, you got to remember the origins of the New York Stock Exchange. It was founded, and this is true, literally under a tree way back in 1792. I mean, it is the definition of traditional old-world finance.
And yet, here we are. The parent company of that same institution just poured over $1.5 billion into a decentralized blockchain-based market that trades on everything from election results to pop culture. We are a long way from 1792.
And here's the most crucial takeaway. ICE isn't treating this like some quirky little experiment. They've been very clear that they see this data as a new, fundamental layer of financial intelligence for their institutional traders, just as important as bond yields or stock futures.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. We've looked at 3 really different stories, but when you step back, you see they're all pointing in the exact same direction.
What we're really seeing is a true 3-front war. On the regulatory front, you've got the government challenging the power of giants like PayPal. On the infrastructure front, you have crypto-native companies completely rebuilding core financial services. And on the intelligence front, even the most traditional players are betting big on these new decentralized forms of data.
And it all leads to one final huge question. When the walls of the established financial system are being breached at the same time, from the outside by regulators, from the inside by new infrastructure, and from above by a totally new layer of intelligence, what in the world happens next?